Hey everyone, Evan here. Hope you're having a great summer. I've had a couple releases that have been coming out over the last few months, including one coming up on July 30th, the Arroyo Tapes Volume 2. To celebrate that, I wanted to do a little bit of a kind of setup explanation, rig rundown, and give everyone a little bit of a glimpse behind the curtain in terms of what's happening at my live performances. So let's see what we can do. All right, so there's kind of a full look of my board. We're going to start over here on the right side. The signal chain starts out with the Boss TU3, just kind of found it always to be super sturdy, pretty decent, gets the job done. There are times where on a super sunny day, it could be kind of hard to see the screen, but kind of make do with it. From there, it runs into this Boss OC3. This one is kind of interesting because I found that the best way to do it is to run two outs. And so I have one direct out that goes straight into the looper, and then I have one that kind of continues down the signal chain. And I found that it just gives me a clearer signal when I'm using that octave to create bass lines and so on and so forth. So from the bass outside, you're just going to go straight over into the loop. If you continue down the guitar signal, we would next go to a Crybaby Wah, followed by a TC Electronic Mojo. I found that to be really good. It works pretty well with the acoustic guitar. There are times with, I would say, both the Wah and the Mojo where the feedback can be a bit much, but for the most part, I've got it kind of dialed in where I feel comfortable with it and like doesn't feedback too much. And if it does, it's usually a pretty quick fix in terms of like just turning the knob a tiny bit. Next up, I got a Spark pedal. I just like having this here just to give me a little bit of a boost on solos. Also, sometimes, again, like I said, when this one's feeding back rather than giving it, sometimes I found if I turn down the juice a little bit but hit the Spark, it will work. Yeah, so then followed up there, we move over to the Boss Giga DD20. I really love this pedal. I've had it for about a year now. Let me turn the light on here. Yeah, and so it's got 5 different kind of settings that I have programmed. Yeah, I do mess around with it from time to time, but I've kind of really found a couple sounds that I like, and I will show you all that in just a few minutes. And then last up, I got a MXR carbon copy. I usually just turn this on for, again, like when I'm doing solos, just to give it a little bit of headroom, a little bit of space. When I'm getting a bit more spacey, I would say definitely would use this, where this is much more of just kind of like, I don't know, an arena style delay the way I have it set up. And then last off, I have this EHS Freeze. I enjoy some Billy Strings, and I saw that he had it on his board. And in terms of like doing solo stuff, it's super helpful just to kind of like transition between songs, adding kind of like an ambient pad behind things sometimes. Yeah, and so I really enjoy it, and I found that it does a great job when used in the right context. Finally, the last 2 things on the board is the Boss RC 500. Love this thing. Kind of have it set 2 different ways. The first setting here is I just have it for loop, and that's typically when I'm just going to be running a guitar loop with a solo over top of it, no drums or anything like that. And then the second loop I have set for drums. One thing that I found is that when I'm doing kind of just the guitar and loop thing, that I've had it set to fade out. I found that the volume drop is less noticeable, where when you have the drums kind of balance those things out, and so I have more on an immediate stop, or stopping when the kind of loop is over versus stopping and fading out as soon as I hit the stop pedal. And then last but not least, I have a little Donner page flipper, and this controls the iPad, where I usually have my lyrics as just kind of a bit of a safety net. Moving over, we have the iPad. typically has lyrics, things like that. And then I have a Zoom V3. I use this for my vocals. I really like it. One thing I really like is that it lets me control this kind of reverb and delay on my own vocals. I found sometimes, you're in a situation where, the sound guys put too much reverb or not enough reverb, or it's not, and so this just gives me a little bit more control in terms of like what I have in terms of in the front of house. It has volume, tons of different effects. I really enjoy the pitch correct, which is kind of an auto tune. I use the key, and then also from time to time I will use like the chorus effect. Yeah, so that's kind of like the base of the pedal board and setup like that. I'm running everything into a Boss Katana MK2. I just have it on the acoustic setting with kind of everything. I have the gain at about, I don't know, what's that? 10 o'clock, volume maxed out. Bass, middle, and treble are kind of all at noon. And then, yeah, everything else from there is just pretty normal. And then in terms of the vocals, if there's not a PA, I have this cool little custom little block. This is great because it has 2 outputs, so there are times where don't feel like bringing the amp, you can just bring that, and it's kind of an all-in-one thing. All right, well, that's kind of a look at the pedal board, a little bit of kind of how things are done around here in terms of like how I set things up. And now I'm just gonna play a little music for you. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe, support the channel. New music coming out on July 30th, the Arroyo Tapes Volume 2. Yeah, thank you all, and hope to see you soon.
the reception. A glass of wine in her hand. I knew we made a connection by glimpse of the moment. No, you can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you'll find you get what you need. Get what you need.